right, guys, what is up? It is Adam Balsinger coming to you from the Investor Boardroom. We have got another video today about investing, money, real estate, with the goal, as always here on this channel, of helping you get one step closer to financial freedom. Now, with today's video, if you like it, if you get value out of today's video, if you learn something, do us a really big solid and hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel, right? If you're interested in the topics that I just mentioned, finance, wealth, financial freedom, subscribe to this channel because we're constantly putting out content to help you get to that goal. So today, what we're going to be talking about, I actually have some notes. I'm going to be reading off of a couple things here today, which is a little different, but I'm sharing some current events, some current news with some more shady business taking place in our favorite place, Wall Street, right? These guys just cannot keep themselves out of shady business dealings. So, this is outside of a lot of, right? Well, a lot of times when you hear about the manipulation, about sketchy operations, sketchy dealings on Wall Street, it's revolving stocks. It's revolving futures contracts with stocks, right? We had all kinds of craziness going on in 08, 09, right? But so this actually involves commodities, okay? And the reason that I want to talk about this specifically is you have a lot of people out there that love investing in what we refer to as real assets, right? Okay, a real asset is generally viewed as something that you can hold, you can touch. It has a real physical value to it. So a lot of people that love the real asset investment type, they're not big investors into stocks, right? Because you're essentially just holding a piece of paper that entitles you to a small percentage of ownership of a company, right? So generally, we're not viewing that as a real tangible asset. And so a lot of times people that don't like stocks like real assets, and gold, silver, platinum, palladium, precious metals are one of those, okay? So what we've got here is a long-standing, this was an 8-year scheme being run and operated out of JP Morgan, okay? It involved 3 people. 3 people had charges brought up against them. Only 2 of those people were actually found guilty. And you can do the research on your own, right? You can just literally Google JP Morgan gold spoofing, okay? And you'll find a lot of articles. But so these 2 gentlemen were found guilty. One 11 counts, the other 13 counts of fraud, price manipulation, and spoofing, okay? Now, spoofing is a tactic of manipulating the market by making bids and then canceling them before execution, while also placing orders on the opposite side, okay? Article continues to say the misleading orders confuse the market's supply and demand dynamic, which leads to price changes. Spoofing is outlawed since 2010. It's actually legal to spoof, right? Leading up to 2010, which is crazy. So the defendants placed orders that they intended to cancel before execution in order to drive prices on orders they intended to execute on the opposite side of the market. The defendants engaged in thousands of deceptive trading sequences for gold, silver, platinum, and palladium futures contracts traded through the New York Mercantile Exchange and the Commodity Exchange, which is also known as the COMEX, okay? Now, these 2 individuals, they're former employees. You can imagine they've since been terminated since the trial, all this investigation's been going on, right? Their top gold trader and the previous head of their precious metals desk, okay? So these weren't like low-level people. So you could kind of think that this could be going on there still, maybe, right? If 2 of the big people, 2 of the higher-ups were doing this. This has been going on. These instances were 08 to 2016, okay? So this is 8 years that these people were manipulating the market, committing fraud and spoofing. It brings these two convictions brings the total number of commodities market manipulators to 10, okay? And it's involving some of the biggest and most well-known institutions on Wall Street. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, and then we've also got Deutsche Bank and the Bank of Nova Scotia, okay? So, what we've got here are financial institutions that we're supposed to be able to trust, right, that are acting ethically, literally deceiving everyone, right, pulling off phony trades to manipulate the price so that they can put more money in their own pockets, right? So one of the reasons that I really love real estate as opposed to the stock market, as opposed to trading gold and silver futures contracts, right, is that it is a lot harder for my piece of real estate that I own, for the value of that to be manipulated by somebody putting in fake orders and canceling them before they're executed and playing both sides of the market, right? So I personally, one of the reasons that the bulk of my portfolio, now don't get me wrong, right? Like, I know about this because I like precious metals. I own a bunch of precious metal at home, and maybe some other places. I own, stocks, so I own mining stocks, right? I also, my wife and I have a considerable amount of money in the stock market, but the bulk of our wealth is in real estate. And one of the reasons is because I don't feel like I need to be quite as concerned about relying on some of these other institutions, right? These Wall Street institutions have proven over and over and over again over the course of my life that they simply cannot be trusted, right? If you've ever read the book Fake by Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about how on Wall Street, a lot of financial institutions have been creating new products over the past several years that essentially take all of the risk off of themselves and place all of the risk on, you guessed it, you and me, the investor, right? And so now they've created this environment where they don't even need to help people make money, and they still are able to make money. And I don't like that arrangement. That's not something that I'm willing to participate in openly, right? So if you value or feel it's important to be able to trust some of the information that you're dealing with, if you're concerned, as I am, about a lot of the manipulation that's taking place on Wall Street, again, we have no idea where this is happening, how frequently it's happening. If it's happening in gold and silver and platinum and palladium, where else could these kinds of shady dealings be going on and impacting us? And potentially, just think about the hundreds of thousands of people, if they were doing these deceptive or practicing these deceptive things over that 08 to 16, that's 8 years. These are thousands and thousands of trades. Think about how many people could have potentially been negatively impacted by these wrongdoings. What would the price of gold and silver across all the precious metals right now, what would the price of those be today if it wasn't for this manipulation? You and I, we have no idea. No idea. And that's concerning for somebody like me, right? I value the money that I have. Lord knows there was time, there was effort, there was personal sacrifice that went into that. And so I want to make sure as I'm investing that I feel good about the investments that I'm making. And part of that comes into being able to trust the people that you're working with, right? So I hope that taught you some stuff here today. I don't know how many people heard about the precious metal spoofing, about JP Morgan getting slapped again for breaking the law and screwing over the people that they're supposed to be taking care of. But I hope that also makes sense, right? You have to really question how much information you can believe out there. And you shouldn't just believe everything that I say either, right? I'm a huge advocate of the concept of trust, but verify. My difficulty in investing with and trusting what I'm seeing through Wall Street is I don't know how to verify that the information is accurate. Call me crazy, right? So That being said, I hope you learned a lot from today's video. We look forward to the next video where we can continue to deliver some information and help you all get one step closer to that ultimate goal of financial freedom.